All right, so my name is Sade Bradford, and I spent 7 years in the Michigan foster care system. And for the most part, I had one permanent placement throughout my foster care experience, which is a lot different than what a lot of young people in foster care experience. So a big part of my early years was defined in shame and embarrassment because I didn't know how to explain to my friends the fact that I was a foster kid. And that really shaped my identity a big part growing up. So for more than half of my foster care experience, I felt like this social outcast. And the good thing about friends is that friends accept you and they love you if you have real friends, no matter what. So my friends were pretty accepting, even though they didn't really know what foster care was. But I was always scared as I made that transition from middle school to high school that somebody would find out and someone would know about who I was, like I would be outed. And so as I transitioned into college, I just remember feeling isolated and alone because I had never met anybody in foster care or a foster kid who was my age at the time, 19, 20, 21 years old. I had never met anybody to identify with. And so I got connected with some really cool folks on the University of Michigan's campus. And the first time that I met foster kids was on the University of Michigan's campus. I think it was around my junior year. I interned for Foster Club, woohoo! National Network for Young People in Foster Care, and I got the opportunity to meet hundreds, if not thousands, of foster kids just like me, who looked like me, who had similar stories like me, who dressed like me, who pretty much, it was kind of like looking into a mirror. And I really began, around my junior and senior year in college, really began to feel proud about being a foster kid. There's this split between how I identify myself, or at least how I did in the past. One part of foster care was connected to shame and embarrassment and, the well-kept secret. And then the second half really is connected with power and strength. But now, even though I still consider myself to be a foster kid, that's not the essence of me because I'm so many things. And that's okay. And I think it's good for young people in foster care to understand that you just don't have to be, a foster kid. You don't just have to live the rest of your life with that image of yourself, whether it's a positive or a negative one. That's not all foster kids are. I think in general, I think foster kids are like some of the strongest people that you'll ever meet. But I think in my own personal story, there's an inner strength that I gained from my foster care experience that I wouldn't trade for the world. I mean, I'm able to walk into rooms and be confident, not because of anything that I'm so super or fantastic about, but I'm able to just be confident in who I am because I know that I have experiences that nobody else has ever experienced before. My life has purpose now, and so I'm not using my foster care experience as a crutch anymore because I used to. I did play the victim role a lot, but I don't use it as a crutch. I use it as a source of empowerment, And so my goal is to reach as many people as I possibly can, with my story, and in hopes that young people who experience the system can see light even in the midst of darkness and just know that it's not the end of the world. And for me, I like to read. I really do like to read. And I think one thing about reading a good book is that it's never the beginning that people just stop and be in awe about. I mean, people just don't read the first chapter of a book, most people, and say, okay, I'm done. And for me, my foster care experience, it was like the first chapter of my story. But the real benefit of living the life that I'm living right now, that's guided and directed by purpose, is that the ending of my story is amazing. And I think that young people in foster care, we have that connection where we don't have to stop at the beginning. We don't have to stop at chapter 1 or chapter 2. So it's good. You just got to read to the end.